freshman.
Incoming freshman? Holy shit, you're young as hell.
I just finished my first year.
Oh my god. Alright, you guys got a few years to go. Wait, how has Florida Southern been doing in the do they still do like north, south, east, west?
What do you mean?
Or like collegiate? Isn't it like it was broken up into regions when I played.
Yeah, we were in the southern region, I believe, with a bunch of other Florida colleges in Texas and stuff like that.
So how are you guys doing?
Let's see. Last year, I think we went 3-3. We did okay. This was like our first serious year this last year, and so we didn't necessarily have the strongest roster, and we're still trying to figure things out. But I think this coming year, we're starting to put a lot more time and effort into it and making the right improvements. So,
Good to hear. Good to hear.
I think it should be a much better year for us.
Good. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Anyway, by the chance.
Yeah.
All right, so let us take a look at what we have here. All right, so tell me about yourselves, I guess. How long you've been playing, your experience, what do you guys think you want to work on / you think you need to work on, that kind of stuff.
Dylan, you want to start?
I've been playing for probably about 4 years now.
And Dylan, you're the support, right?
I am the support.
Okay.
Support. Got masters at the end of last season, the very end of the season.
Congrats.
Looking at grandmaster now. I think I just gotta work on for certain champions better lane sense. And then how to deal with like the other support roaming because there are times where like the support roams and then the enemy ADC doesn't just like stay back and try not die.
So you're saying like, oh, how do I punish this? Maybe.
Yeah, or like, yeah, how do I punish or how do I react to it?
Okay. Usually the common responses are, let's find some advantage bot versus let's follow their support for counter gank, something like that. But I'm sure we'll see examples in game.
I think I just react too slow to a lot of things, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, and for myself, I think definitely the lane phase and stuff like that, and creating advantages, and knowing when to play up when you have an advantage versus just like sitting back and letting the rest of your team do all the work.
Okay, fair enough. So how to create advantages and how can we push our advantage once we get it, right? Something like that. Okay, let us take a look then. Is this fine? A fine replay to start with?
Yeah. So this is the same game for both of us. This is just my point of view.
Okay. Good. That way, if we see something interesting, we can always swap over to the other replay and see what's going on there. Yeah. And you guys, how many replays do you guys have for me today?
I think we just prepared this one. We probably waited a little longer than we should to put this together. So.
Fair enough. So I guess we'll go a little more in depth into this one then.
Okay.
So this is solo queue, right?
Yeah.
Good. I don't know. I don't recognize any of these names.
Yeah, this is as of like I think 2 hours ago.
Oh wow, nice. So you guys legit just played this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened in this game?
Top won their lane, mid went even. I think
the
junglers provided.
What about you guys? We don't care about everyone else, right?
We did fine. Got ganked by like the most ghetto gank, level 2, by Kha'Zix. He literally just walked in and flashed on us. And then we didn't have the bot rush warded, and so he snuck in there and then ganked then, but and then it turned around after that. But we were winning the 2v2 the whole time.
Sure.
It's easy lane.
You think there are any changes you would like to make so far, or not really?
Better Q placement, that's for sure.
It's getting a little messy, right? So let's back it up here. Alright, so let's take a look at this. Next 10-15 seconds are a little interesting. Yeah, I want you guys to tell me. I guess anything you notice you could be doing differently, or is there anything you would like to do differently? It does not necessarily have to be something you want to do differently, but
I'm gonna look. I could have probably warded try there instead of the river, since if Kha'Zix is clearing his full bot side, then he wouldn't be coming from river. He'd be coming from try.
sure. What if you're going to ward, why are you going to go ward?
Spot a Kha'Zix gank before.
Kha'Zix.
So is Kha'Zix gank a problem?
Honestly, it shouldn't be. But if we're really far up, it's because we're gonna be pushing in the tower a lot because we're super karma.
Right. So if we're super far pushed in, maybe we need to ward, right? So what does it tell us in terms of when should we ward?
After you reach tower.
Right. After you reach tower, or maybe even after the minions reach tower. Now, like, why are we talking about this? Because this is this 2v2 laning idea. What happens if you go ward now?
They can just walk up on him.
Sure. And since you don't want to take damage, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna back off, right?
Yeah.
And if you back off, what are they gonna do?
Walk. Zone off the wave.
He's probably not gonna lose minions and XP. You're gonna realize what's going on. You come back. Are you giving them space to do anything that you don't want them to do? What do you think? So, like, let's bring the discussion to more general idea. What are you guys doing right now in the first few minutes of the laning phase?
Just pushing.
Yeah, you're just pushing, right? You just fucking, you don't even have to interact and they automatically lose, right? You just fucking shove them in. So now let's fast forward, right? So you go ward now, right? You're gonna go leave. They're gonna try and hit you, and you're like, oh, let's leave. What do they do as they are retreating?
What do they do?
Like, Kai'Sa can't hit you unless you're doing something strange, right? So what is Kai'Sa gonna do when she sees Karma leave?
I don't know what she can do. I don't think she has E at this point.
Yeah, maybe we can slow this down. What is Kai'Sa currently doing?
Just farm. Just chilling. Walking up a little.
Let me see if
I'm walking back.
Like 5 seconds. So remember, what was our goal? What was our goal in this lane?
Push the lane, and then she pushed.
Right. So you're trying to push, and if you leave lane, does that help? Do you guys see what I'm getting at here?
Yeah.
Are you guys pushing in as hard as you could be?
No, definitely not.
Right, because if you leave, she's gonna push back, right? She's gonna try and clear out the wave, and then all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, we got our ward off. But they're nullifying our pushing advantage, right? And we did say we want to see Kha'Zix, right? But what happens if Kha'Zix ganks? Let's say this is not worded, and he comes out like this. Is this good or bad?
I think the same result would happen.
Well, just like in general terms.
Right. In this position, we just walk away. But
yeah, he's wasting his time. They're losing the game essentially, right? So that's how we know that it's not. When we ward, we need a good reason to ward. Like you said, he's gonna. If we're super deep in and he ganks us, we're gonna have a problem. So we need a ward if we're super deep in, right? So let's say this is like Xin. Let's say like Xin level 2 gank. Back before when Scuttle was spawning really early, right? You would need to ward earlier because you have a problem just being normally in lane, right? So you might have to ward earlier in this case, but in this case, if Kha'Zix ganks, you guys are actually happy if that happens, right? And then, okay, let's ignore the mechanical part where we use boomerang or whatever, but that was a nice boomerang, but it's kind of we lost time on our push essentially, right? Because support is kind of warding when it's kind of a strange time to ward, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of awkward. We should be okay, right? Oh, okay. Let's talk about this. What do you think, guys?
Didn't
at the last part
to jump on me there? Instead of RQing, I probably could have RE'd or.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of, right? Like, what's the difference between the two?
RQing, he's blocking it, but I'm not shielding. I'm not getting a big enough shield on myself. If I get a big enough shield, I might still die, but I don't think Will had to use flash here. Yeah,
I don't think
he just walked away.
Right. So what made you RQ? What do you think?
Just hit the Kaisa and the Yumi. Just greed it out.
Right. It's kind of your knee-jerk reaction, right?
Yeah.
Was, oh shit, let me just fire this biggest thing I can in their face, right? What's the idea though? What are we trying to do here?
Get away.
Exactly, right? So that's kind of
yeah,
it does not help you get away, right? So the thing that you think makes sense in VOD review, how can we the thing we do in game, how can we translate it into that, right? Because you're like, oh, we just need to get away from this gank. How bad is it for their team? They just fucking lost jungle all of a sudden, right? For no reason. And you guys aren't even losing bot, right? The lane's gonna push back towards you by the time you come back. You guys are really happy with this. But if we die somehow when physically it should be possible to get away, it's kind of strange, right? So how do we make sure that we know we need to RE next time, or not even like, let's say we're not playing Karma, let's say we're playing like Nami or something, right? It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same idea, right? Is you know, what are we trying to do here, and you know, are your actions in game following that, right? So how do we keep this in mind? What do you think? Let's say you can go back in time, you replay this. How many times out of 10 do you get away from this gank?
More than 50.
10 times out of 10. Like, you just...
All the time?
When you see him jump, you just RE and flash. Oh, it's over, right? They can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
Because we already established that a failed gank is really bad for them, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, there's no way this should ever work, right? And so how do we keep this in mind, though? What do you think? How do we make sure that next time, you know, in a similar situation, that this doesn't go as poorly?
Probably just
react defensively instead of offensively.
Well, how do you know you need to react defensively?
Saber doesn't have enough mana for most of her abilities, so she can't retaliate in much way, and Kha'Zix's burst is with the solo Kaisa Q does a lot more damage.
Okay, sure.
So I need to make sure that she can't get that off on me, so I need to be able to distance myself from it.
Let's try and like generalize it more, because it's not always going to be like Kha'Zix or
I know
whatever, right?
Guess just because we're outnumbered, very basic level.
How do you know you're outnumbered?
Sedge is top. We're all alone down here.
Okay, right. Sedge is top, so we're alone here. But you know, isn't it early in the game? I thought Kha'Zix's early gank is awful.
It is, and that's probably why we should never die to it. But he's still going to be able to kill us at the very least if we're playing like this.
It's a very common pattern here, and you'll see this all the time in solo queue. I'm kind of trying to see if you guys can figure it out. Like, why does this super weak Kha'Zix gank work? What's some main reasons? Give me some like main reasons.
Right, reasons for what?
Sorry. Why this gank worked? Because we say usually it doesn't work. Yeah. I mean, anyone.
Both of us are below 50% HP.
Oh, okay. So that's like the main one, right? Both of you are below 50% HP. So should that change the way you play this lane?
Yeah.
So how many times? So it seems like, oh, an easy answer is yes. But how many times have you guys seen a lane where everyone gets to 10 health and everyone still tries to kill each other, but you know someone's jungle is still bond, they just fucking clean up, right? How many times have you seen that? I've seen that every time. Or even mid laner comes down and just kills everyone, right? So this is like a kind of a main idea, is when you start getting to danger levels of HP or something like that, maybe you could have a some kind of trigger to tell you, you know, oh, if their jungle is here, we need this to happen, right? Instead of just you guys just keep going, right? Like watch, like for example, let's watch Nim here, right? Like what is Nim doing here?
Trading.
We're trying to trade away all our HP, right? Yeah. Like what is you think this Yumi's boosted? Like what is she doing?
I mean, at this point, our damage is pretty comparable, especially if I don't have mana, so probably wasn't the smartest idea to take that long fight like that.
Right, like why would she ever walk up to you, right?
Yeah, especially because she can just jump to Kaisa and then it doesn't matter how much health she has.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you guys got, you know, in a sense debated, right?
Oh yeah.
What were you guys thinking here?
If he had his RQ coming up soon, which I mean, we maybe could have got a kill offensively, like a flash forward or something like that. But
I think at this point, I was thinking my RQ would be able to kill Kai'Sa.
You're gonna just flash over these minions, RQ, ignite, we're good to go, right? And then it was like, oh, you got surprise attacked, right? So, and then since you were ready to RQ, you RQ'd anyways, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the preparation idea. Yeah. In laning phase, how can we kind of make habits to make sure this doesn't happen, right? It's not always about the attack, right? Because you guys are doing really well, right? This is a hard winning. We'll say this is hard winning. You guys won lane already, right? Without anything happening. Look at this guy's health. Right? This lane is won. All you have to do is just touch minions, and then they can't kill you, and you win, right? She has to go home. You get 7 CS on her. It's just they're really upset. And then so how do we keep winning? How do we keep winning? Winning is the question. So kind of overreaching when you're not quite prepared for classic jungle gank when you're low. That's like a common pattern, right?
Yeah.
You might be currently winning, but their jungle can tip the scales, right? And you always need to kind of be prepared for that. Because even though level 3 Kha'Zix gank when he starts red, that doesn't work 80% of the time, right? But it works sometimes if you guys pretend he doesn't exist, right? Similar to Master Yi or Kane or whatever, right?
I think he was level 2. I don't even think he was level 3.
He was level 3. I think he was level 3. He
cleared his full bot side.
Yeah. You got red Krugs. Yeah. You got everything. So
okay, my bad.
So it's very much an idea of what's the indicator that weak ganks can work. You guys told me earlier, low HP, right? You're below 50%.
Low HP, too far up.
If you're below 50% and they're trying to trade with you, what does that tell you? Oh, we probably don't want to keep trading, right? Because our jungle's topside. So that's kind of a common pattern you'll see is when you're the one pushing, you don't want to be trading, right? If your jungle's not here, right? Because if you trade and you push, what just happened is gonna keep happening, right? So you'd prefer to not interact. Just some interesting ideas to throw at you guys, but always keep in mind what you're trying to do at any given time, right? So we were saying, we're trying to push, but then you went to ward. It didn't really make sense, right? You're afraid of Kha'Zix gank if you're super deep in, but we weren't super deep in yet, right? We need a ward after we push, right? Oh, this is kind of awkward. All right, we can talk about this too.
Very awkward.
Let's talk about a few things here. All right, so what do you guys think?
So off the bat, I think the skill shot placement just was terrible there to begin with.
Okay, by who?
Us.
Yeah, both of you guys, right? So what's going on? What do you think?
So I think at that point, after everything was missed, we should have backed up because we had no cooldowns and they had everything. Yeah.
Sure. But I mean, you guys are backing off, right? Okay, you went in again, which is kind of awkward. But so there's 2 parts here, right? So one is how do we? Okay, let's talk the easiest one, right? Everyone loves to talk about mechanics, right? So let's talk about the mechanical part here, right?
Yeah.
So what's going on, mechanically speaking? How did we miss these, or how do we increase the chances of us landing these? What do you think?
I don't get out of tether range. And,
well, okay, let's watch. So I mean, you could tether him, right? But it seems like you're afraid they're trading on you. So.
I was trying to. I don't know why I backed out there. I think I'm just used to it.
Well, if you tether them, is this good?
I mean, if we tether them, I just get an RQ and then we just walk over back to lane.
You don't know where Kha'Zix is, but I don't know. I think we probably could have just poked and backed off. Yeah.
So. Okay, so let's say we're trying to tether them, and then we fail to tether somehow, and you still want to RQ. How do you hit them?
Not where they would be if they were tethered.
Right. Or here's an interesting idea. Do we even have to use it?
No.
Why is that?
Because just holding it, the threat of it, they wouldn't be able to walk through without.
Yes, they can't even get back to lane, right?
Yeah.
They kind of like shot themselves in the foot running into the river or something. So we necessarily don't even have to use it. How about you, Nim? What about this? What's going on here? Is this the same thing?
Yeah, probably. I think if I waited just a little bit longer, she wouldn't really have anywhere else to run. I think I threw it a little too early because she could just back up and have that exit. If I wanted to throw it then, probably throwing it closer to where she was at the time instead of far ahead.
Right. So, we have ideas of maybe we need to hold on to our skill shots in lane, for mechanical purposes, but that's more like duo practice, right? Like this section here. What's the problem with this? That 1 second right there.
Which one? Sorry.
I told you, if you complete this tether, you're not winning. Why is that?
I'm too far back.
That's part of it, right? What else? You're not necessarily too far back. More of a...
I don't have cooldowns.
Yeah, you don't have cooldowns, right? So what's going on here?
Lack of communication.
Right, like what's the how does Saber Karma win lane? What do you think? This is something you guys want to be talking about before we start laning phase, right? So one of the things you told me was we just push and then they can't do anything. And I was like, okay, that's definitely one way to win lane, right? Agreed. But then you guys are trying to fight here. So how do you guys win by fighting?
If we had the cooldowns that we just used for pushing.
Well, like how do you like combine these cooldowns, right?
I mean, a tethered target makes it easy for Saber to get both parts of the queue and then.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like the kind of that's the important piece, right? You're like, oh, the tether, the Karma RQ, and the Saber Q, right? So what happens if you guys like try and fight without that?
Yeah.
Things get super messy, which is what's happening here, right? So that's kind of like you want to kind of identify important ideas in your 2v2 all-in or 2v2 trade, or how do we want to set up this lane, right? Like here's a common example. Let's say what else do you play besides Saber? Let's say you're playing Kai'Sa, right? And you have a Morgana, right? And you're like throwing W as poke, and then your support lands a bind. What's wrong?
It's easier to if the bind hits first, then the W's almost guaranteed the hit.
Right. But what is the ADC doing the whole time? What if he's like throwing W to poke, right? It doesn't make sense. How can we follow up on the Morgana, right? So you see what I'm getting at is sometimes you need to make sure your combo makes sense, right? Like what are you guys trying to do in terms of 2v2 trades or all in, right? So that's kind of like one thing I noticed here, because if you guys are duo, you guys want to. Honestly, you shouldn't have to talk about it, but if you do need to talk about it, that's something you might want to be looking at. Like, how do we guarantee combo, right? Or like short trades. Like, how do you guys do a short trade? What do you think? With Kog'Maw and Saber. Yeah, ideally speaking, the most ideal short trade.
A short trade? I mean, if I land RQ or maybe just even Q itself, he can probably just boomerang blade, but I don't know if that's what you're looking for. That's more like
poke, but that's really good too, right? If you slow them, you can land this Q. That's really good, right? Really good combo piece. I'm thinking more of if you can walk up to auto attack reset your W, and he's gonna shield you, right? So if you think that's, for example, stronger than Yumi's heal or shield or whatever, you guys can go for that every time she wants a minion, right?
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things like you wanna kind of create patterns between yourselves. So like basically the strongest possible pattern you can come up with and do it over and over again against them. Because when you saw this messy team fight, it was like, you guys are playing like it was solo queue, right? There's no kind of synergy going on, right? So you might have to talk about it, or even just play the same like Saber Karma over and over again until you guys figure out what's up, right? So like it's kind of happening a few times. It's like, oh, we're kind of tethering or using Q. You see what we're getting at? Like, how come you can't Q him here? It's because you used it when you weren't trying to combo, right? You're just trying to use it randomly, right? So that's kind of something you guys want to be talking about for sure. Is how can we do good things in lane and copy it over and over again? Because it doesn't matter who your opponent is. if you hit them with this Q, you will always land this boomerang, right? Hopefully, right? So that's kind of the goal.
Yeah.
So, but if you throw this boomerang like this, check it out. How many times do you hit this out of 100?
2.
Yeah, like pretty much never, right? Because you know they're not trying to do anything here. There's no fighting. You can't follow up on slow or tether. She doesn't want a minion, right? There's nothing going on here. So how can you land these? So that's something you guys want to be looking at. So if you notice as a support and you're like, yo, what are you doing? I need you to. We want to ideally combo our abilities, right? You could say something like that, or even make sure that you could set it up. Be like, hey, when I Q, I want you to boomerang, right? Otherwise, you guys are just really disjointed like this. And then this is the whole we were talking about trading when your jungle is not here, right? And then if you guys trade down too much, this is what's gonna happen. Feels bad, man. This guy's coming, but do these ganks not like this? These ganks are so feels bad, man. They shouldn't work, but they do, right? So what's the pattern here? What happened?
Just extended trades.
Right. And why are we trading? We don't know, right? It's just because we can hit them. They're hitting us, we're gonna hit them, right? So that's like a problem here, right? So remember, you want to kind of figure out what are we supposed to be doing in this lane and stick to it. They're gonna try and make you deviate from that so they can get you some spicy gank or TP gank or mid roam or something. They're gonna try and trick you. They're always gonna try and trick you, right? And you want to stick to what you think is good as closely as possible. So if you think you should be trading or all inning, do it. Right? If you think you should be pushing and just not interacting, you do that thing. But if you deviate and then something bad happens, that's when there are problems, right? So here is just like, oh, why are we trading? Like, do you guys win trades? What do you think?
Yes.
How?
By layering our abilities and stuff like that correctly.
Okay, like specifically speaking.
I don't know, tether into an RQ of a boomerang with the shield and stuff like that. I don't think that they can ever do that much damage to us. Not with Kaisa and Yuumi this early on.
Will that beat Kaisa's isolated Q auto attack with W?
With the shield on, yes, I would think so.
Then you could go for that pattern, right? But if you do it, so in this example, we didn't have the shield on, right?
Yeah.
So that's the idea. Is they say we win with this specific pattern. This is their best move possible, which is Kaisa Q auto attack W with Yuumi Q whatever, and then who wins? You need to be clearly. You need to be clearly winning for you guys to go for that. So it's essentially the lane we're seeing is kind of messy, right? It's like what are you guys kind of doing here? I'm not really sure what you guys are trying to accomplish what's the plan essentially, right? It seems like you guys are trying to push, and then all of a sudden it devolves into like some kind of fighting, and then Kha'Zix shows up and someone dies, right? So it's like, what's going on here? Oh, okay, here we go. Here's a gank. This is easy clap, right? Hey, Lamau. This guy is probably dead. Nice flash by Sidrani. Let's get the hell out of here.
That boomerang.
Oh, he actually almost died. Oh my god. Wait, you missed a boomerang? You didn't miss this boomerang.
No, I said it was hard to miss that one.
Oh.
Because it was a stun
if
time.
Do you think you would have missed this? What do you think? Is there something wrong with the timing?
I threw it right as the route ended. If she had flashed away, I would have missed it.
Right. Did you yeah, we didn't quite, boomerang fast enough. That's kind of like a mechanical thing, but I think you know how to follow up. So we're not going to talk about that too much. It's just very much kind of saving your abilities so you can combo with each other. I think is the big idea we're going on here, especially you. Like I don't know what's going on with some of these boomerangs, but you're just trying to like randomly hit her, right? So you want to combo with your support, all right? And if your support misses, you should, either you can just throw something really quick, but you probably shouldn't throw something really quick, right? But you basically want to have your abilities up at the same time, so you can have maximum potential. But okay, let's keep going. Do you guys have any questions so far about anything we're talking about?
No. Good so far.
So how do we kind of do this every game? Like, talk about, what are we supposed to be doing in lane? How do we combo our abilities? That kind of stuff. Like, how do we make it a habit? What do you think? Like, take a look, because you know it's happening every time, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of happening every time. So
We're just throwing them out, you know, trying to throw them off.
exactly. What? So okay, let's just pause here. I want you to tell me what you're trying to do here and why.
Well,
Let's just talk about this picture here.
I'm just trying to RQ to just get damage and then frostbite stuff.
I think that since Yuumi has her Q on, Kai'Sa's gonna walk up because that's what everybody does when Yumi's on them. So I think this would have probably been an easy trade to do and just walk away.
Right?
Or Q back for both of us.
So is there anything wrong with this?
I think I'm probably a little too far back if we wanted to trade.
Anything else? Think like bigger picture. Outside the 2v2.
If they're walking forward and then we turn around and walk back, Kha'Zix could just show up maybe, but...
Right, so let's say you're trying to hit them and they're trying to trade with you guys. And Kha'Zix shows up. Are we okay? Is the question.
We are not okay.
See, it could be okay, but if you say you're not okay, then you shouldn't do this, right? It's just very much what's like the first consideration is, oh, the jungle, right? Like, let's say, for example, you guys are like, oh, we just throw a bunch of shit in their face, they lose a ton of HP, and 2v2, this is winning every time. But the game isn't really 2v2, right? I mean, obviously, this Kha'Zix has come bot twice, right? So the game is definitely not 2v2. So maybe this is like a habit as a duo you guys need to come up with is, it's good you're thinking of how can we win 2v2, but then right after you think that, ask yourself, are we okay if the enemy jungle is here? Right? Maybe we just add an extra step and say, you know, does this make sense to us, right? Because how do we know Kha'Zix could be here and is bad for us?
We don't have Tri-Warded. We haven't seen him for a minute.
Yeah, and I mean, Sedrani is topside, so she's not coming down here, right? So just some indicators tell you that, you know, that's something you want to do. And let's talk about some mechanical ideas as well. If you want to harass her together, right? When do we do it?
If we want to harass, we should when she uses her abilities. Or when they're guaranteed to hit.
Okay, when is it guaranteed? Well, it's hard to guarantee in this case, right? But what's a likely scenario? Like let's talk about you. Let's talk about you here. When are we aiming the ADC? Check it out. When did you do it?
When she could easily dodge it by just running up. I could have thrown it when she was up against the wall.
But check it out. You went for it when she wanted a minion, right? That's pretty good, we'll say. So how do we turn this into dual communication? How do we make this better?
Probably just talking about it.
Okay, what is your ADC thinking?
Just gonna back up, let the next wave come.
Right? And what are you thinking?
Just get some poke real fast.
So how do we combine our forces here?
I let him know. I'm gonna walk up and poke.
Yeah, but like exactly when, right? So a common one is when the cannon's about to die, you're like, I'm trying to hit him on the cannon. So your ADC is ready, right? Because if you see what he's doing, if you see what your ADC is doing, right? At the instant you walk up, what did your ADC do?
Walk him back.
Well, what is on his screen right here?
Not the game.
Yeah, he's like checking tab or something, right? So you guys are like you guys aren't kind of in sync here. So you guys kind of want to communicate, you know, what are we trying to do and how do we do it together, right? Sometimes it's like sometimes it's like supported does it solo, right? And the ADC can't do anything. That's fine, right? But I think in this lane, there are a lot of things where you're going for a poke, your ADC should be ready to fall. Like he just like threw a Q and he saw it. Like he did. It's kind of, you guys aren't kind of primed for it, if that makes any sense, right? So a common one is when he wants this specific minion or this specific minion or this specific minion, you're like, oh, okay, I'm looking to hit him, right? That way your ADC is ready. Otherwise, you can just be like, do whatever. But that's kind of like an easy tip for you guys to kind of coordinate your attack, right?
Okay.
Especially on poke. It's That's the spicy one. Like, oh, he wants his minion. We're gonna go from on this minion, right? For example. Also, this Kha'Zix is Monka S still missing.
Yeah, that's why we were just kind of looking to try and find him.
Oh yeah, he was bot, right?
Yeah, he was taking
Seems
like
good.
Gromp or something.
Seems good. Let's definitely talk about this though. Let's talk about this. So if you think Kha'Zix is here, is there anything wrong with this?
We were seeing if he was gonna show top because when we had walked back to lane, I started talking about where he could be, and I was thinking because I think he had red when he ganked us before that he'd maybe start going topside to clear that, but
let's talk about like okay, so right, we're like Kha'Zix could be here, right? So what does that mean for us? Bot.
He could be coming bot somehow. But,
right? So based on what happened in the last 2 ganks, what do we not want to do?
Overextend.
Okay, why is it? Would you say get low?
Get low and overextend.
Right. We don't want to trade specifically, right? And trade usually it's trading HP is what you see a lot. But why do I say trade? And it's not just HP trade. What is going on here?
Trading spell shield.
Yeah, what's going on, right? Something is there's a disconnect between what you guys are trying to do and what you guys do in game, right? Because this is like, why'd you spell shield as a habit? You see a spell coming for you, you're like, I need to spell shield it, right? Versus, oh, in the gank, is this what you wanted to spell shield, right? If there's a 2v3 going on, what do you want? What do you actually want to spell shield? Maybe you want to spell shield the Kha'Zix W or the Kha'Zix Q, or maybe Yumi's third ulti or some crazy shit, right? Honestly, it could be Kai'Sa W as well, but that's something you want to kind of figure out, you know, as you're before these things happen, right? So okay, this is the saddest gank attempt I've ever seen, but it's good. You guys are doing good. You're just pushing, not interacting. The instant you saw some crazy shit happen, you ulti. That's totally fine, right?
Even sadder.
Oh no, you don't want to fight this, my dudes.
No, this
okay.
Dumb. This is really dumb.
It looked somewhat okay. Maybe you can actually do this. Oh, PogChamp. That was hot. Yes, Johnny came down too. There are millionaires coming, by the way. Oh, it's too easy clap. Wow, that was PogChamp. Good stuff, guys. Where did our damage come from?
Walked back
Karma's
for the
broken.
ward kill. Like, I don't know, he just killed himself.
Dude, check out this Karma damage. Check it out. Saber contributed 180 damage. Where did the rest go? Holy shit. Alright, nice. Very nice. Well played. Oh, wow, you guys are gonna dive this guy. Why is he inting?
Yeah.
He's inting.
Just
nice.
use ults.
Oh, that's fine. You guys got in sums. Actually, let's take a look at this. There's no way he gets away here, right? Let's take a look.
Originally, I had called that Yumi was gonna be on Kai'Sa, but she came by herself, so I don't think we were. It was like a second thought kind of thing, at least for us. I don't know about Sejuani.
That's fine, but I would still dive even if Yumi's here, right? So why didn't it work?
Missed abilities.
Okay, which one?
My Q again.
How'd you miss your Q?
He threw it when she wasn't CC'd yet.
That's it, right? So it's the same pattern. It literally doesn't matter what's going on in the game. It's actually the same thing over and over again. It's like, oh, when's the best time for us to land Q? When he's tethered, right? So every time he's tethered, you're gonna throw a Q. What if he's not tethered? We don't throw it, right? Unless you have some very strong reason to believe it's like easy clap. For example, you can like Q flash into her face or something, or maybe she can't dodge, right? But unless you see something, unless you see an exception, remember that the pattern you guys want to come up with, before lane starts is this, and you want to stick to it as much as possible. And the reason why we're sticking to it is because we know it works, right? You know it can't fail. It doesn't matter who they are. So that's kind of the something you guys definitely want to be looking at. So I think you guys are playing a lot of Saber plus Karma, right? So,
yeah, I've just been spamming Saber.
Yeah, so this is good. Like, every time we land slow. Oh, actually, that's not you.
No.
But like, it doesn't matter what support you're with. You wanna think about how can we combo our abilities effectively, right? Especially if you have skill shots, because there's a lot of times where it's just like this, right? Okay, seems like Flame, but like, you know, all you have to do is just match with your support. Okay, that's what you're looking for here. So let's see what's going on here though. So yeah, a way to make this into a habit. What do you think? How do we remember to do this every game, regardless of the ADC or support? What do you think?
Probably just talk about it.
Let's say you're solo queue.
Solo. Oh god.
Because you want to get to the point where you guys don't have to talk about it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. I mean, if you guys get to challenger level, right? You shouldn't have to talk about, you know, specific interactions. Like, let's say for example, we have Yuumi and Saber or something, and how do we land this boomerang? I'm gonna make sure Yuumi lands her root first, then we boomerang. Right? It should be obvious. How do we? How do you figure this out?
Understanding like how each lane plays out, like what CC abilities you can combo with versus like when you shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. So for ADC, you could say this is my most important ability in the kit, right? So for Saber, it's just your boomerang. How do I make sure this lands based off my support? So let's say you have a Vel'Koz. Oh, Vel'Koz presses Q, I press Q if it hits, right? Let's say it's like Alistar. On combo, I'm gonna press Q, right? So you see how that works? But if you guys don't kind of do this, this will happen every time, right? Where it's like all your damage is gone for some reason. So there's no way you guys can fight. So definitely an easy way to abuse your lane. Like if you guys want to get a lead in lane, the enemy bot lane has not really been playing that well, right?
Yeah.
So every time you land, imagine if every time your support landed a slow, you hit a boomerang. They were just like, I don't know, FF the lane, I guess. I don't know. Nothing they can do really. So you guys want to definitely be looking at your how can we most effectively use our champions. Like you see this, right? You see it's like the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Check it out. How much health would she lose if you hit that?
She would be at what, 40%?
Yeah. So what happens if in a collegiate game you get it? If this happens, can you invade red without your boomerang?
Because I missed it, can
Yeah, if you missed it, they can still defend red, right?
Yeah.
If you land this boomerang, can they defend red?
Probably not as well.
Yeah,
You're just gonna have to heal her up.
Yeah, she lost so much health, right? You're like, oh shit, let's run it down, boys, right? Or you can even just take an uncontested dragon, or you know, you have a lot of options, right? So you guys are like, how do we win lane? How do we win lane harder? This is it, right? Keep things clean, right? You guys kind of have a general idea of what you want to do, but in terms of doing it when the enemy jungle's around, you might have a problem, right? We shouldn't be trading when the enemy jungle's here, or if we have losing too much health, you know, that kind of idea. And specifically, this kind of stuff that's happening, you know, when should we be using our abilities, I guess, right? How do we trade or play together effectively, right? And when, you know, if nothing is, you know, if you guys aren't clicking for whatever reason, you can just default to, this is our lane, win just by pushing. And you can just do that too, so.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had too much time to play together. This is the first day that we've actually, like, seriously played together.
I see.
So this is mainly about, like, preparing, I guess, for more so when the season starts.
Right. And honestly, a lot of these duo ideas can also be applied in just solo queue, right? Because as an ADC, you're looking for specific things, right? You're looking to follow up on your support setup, right? And for your support, you're like, I don't set up if he doesn't have his follow-up, right? Like if you see that boomerang go off, maybe you shouldn't be using tether and, you know, trying to go in, right? So it's very much kind of easily practicable lane ideas. Let's take a look at this thing.
And off that, I think that Karma has a lot more playmaking ability than my boomerang does. So
right. Yeah, exactly.
To be good with, I should just hold it until then.
Yeah. How do you set up with boomerang? That doesn't really make sense, right? So what happened here though?
Yeah, the same thing.
So what's the
last 2 times?
Right. What is this pattern we're seeing here?
Low health, staying too long.
Right. You're getting baited. That's the key word, right? So every time you guys are seeing something you want to do, here's a new habit you can work on: is look for their jungle first. Right. So does that make sense? So like every time you can do something, make sure check for their jungle, and say, are we okay if he shows up? If you're okay, keep going. If you're not okay, probably don't do it, right? Because this kind of This is kind of your biggest trap so far, guys.
He's on the
this.
map at this point too, so
yeah. I mean, if you knew he went from mid to bot, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, let's go home. But then when Yumi's holding the wave, you guys are like, oh shit, let's stop this guy. He's trolling, and then you guys just die, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, he killed both of you. Oh,
Yeah.
it's a disaster. Thank God your Sejani is. Thank God your team is saving this game. Holy shit. Oh my God, they're actually gonna kill her. Very nice. Trolling. Okay. Fast forward. Winning stat. You guys went top. I think that's fine. Might as well put that time to good use. It really was already bot. Sure, we can run mid. They took dragon, so Rift Herald, right? Okay, where are you guys going? Hold up.
I think we knew where to go because we felt like where top lane was, we couldn't be too safe.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Okay, so here we're covering mid because Syndra's not here yet, right?
Yeah.
So once you cover mid, what's the next step?
I mean, we have mid pushed in. We could probably team Rift and go do that with mid pushed in. But
Well, can you start Rift?
probably not.
Yeah, you probably can't start it, but what can you do?
Clear vision.
Yeah, clear vision. What else?
Get
Let's say you don't have a sweeper. Get vision. What's a nice spot if you want to set up this Rift Herald?
Blue
Literally
buff.
entrances.
Towards blue.
Yeah, towards like literally the only dark spot near Rift, right? this is you got, that's probably the most logical next step, right? And then if this is collegiate, you say, hey, Sojani, are you ready for this, right? We're gonna go in and ward, and then you see Kha'Zix, so you know you can do it by yourself, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of some mid game ideas. Is how can we help set up this objective? Like if you path down this way, there needs to be a reason why. I don't know why, right? Maybe you're trying to invade their red, which doesn't make sense because you're Sojani's top side, right? But it's kind of always ask yourself, what are we trying to do here and play towards that, right? Similar to lane, what are we trying to do here and play towards that, right? So you guys are like, let's try and set up Rift Herald, and you guys are clear vision. This is great, right? So they're playing 2 bot. Let's just start this, huh?
Yeah.
ADC can probably just push top. Oh, trolling. Easy clap. They have no jungler. What is this guy doing? Free kills. Oh, don't get hit by this, please. We're fine, right?
I think he flashes out.
Yeah, actually, he's just fucking getting away. Hey, don't chase this. Don't chase this. Okay, nice. Okay. There's descending into chaos, but we have a man advantage, right? ADC pushes. You do Rift Herald. Very nice. It's kind of messy, but you guys got it done anyways, right? That's good.
Yeah.
Your mid laner died somehow, so that's awkward. Sure, defend mid. Good. Okay, you're going home for BF sword. I think that's fine. Any questions or anything from what we're seeing so far? What do you guys think?
Point no. I think obviously I think the biggest issues were just better skill shot placement, communication, and
Right.
thinking about junglers before we make the play.
Right, and it's you might have the order wrong in terms of think about junglers before you make the play. It's you definitely do think about the junglers before you make the play, but don't stop thinking about these plays for sure. Like the thing you're doing right now, you want to keep that, and then on top of that, make sure the jungle's not here so you can proceed with that, right? Because there is a trap of all of a sudden you just don't do anything because the jungle could be here, but you still want to be looking for this, right? Because let's say, for example, you could have made a play, and if the jungle shows up, you can 2v3, then you proceed, right? So definitely keep these like instincts in place. They're really good. Like this right here, you want to kill this guy. What's the first thing you check for? It's gonna be the same thing throughout the whole game as a duo. Right here.
Play off the tether.
Sorry, that's true.
Shot.
Mechanically speaking, yeah. Play off the tether, please, right? But what else? Just from this, right?
Everybody on their team is missing. I mean, we saw Yuumi in the river, but Kha'Zix's bot side, I think.
Yeah, we saw they had at least 2 bot.
It's 2 bot. Your team has 3 bot. So are we fine if Anivia is here? Right, is the question, right?
Yeah.
So it's not. We should never go for this Kaisa. It's think about, okay, Anivia could be here. Let's do it anyways, right? Because you think you can do it. Like I'm gonna flash this Anivia Q or whatever. You think they can't beat you or whatever. Totally fine. But if you think, you know, Anivia is missing and she's gonna like fuck you guys up from a bush, and you didn't check for this, that's where the problem arises, because in the next game you'll still have the same problem, right? So you want to build up this habit of this attack is very good to think about. Just make sure it makes sense based on man advantage, because I think that's the big problem you guys are having, jungler specifically in lane. But and since Anivia, we know that she's really fucking slow, so unless she's already here, we're good to go. But it could be any other mid laner, right? So, or here's a common one in collegiate. You'll see this too. I think there'll be like some teams will run double TP, right, for this exact reason, and they'll do some crazy shit like, oh, we're gonna double TP or some stupid shit, right? I don't know. Have you guys done any scrims yet?
Not with our full team.
Okay. I don't know if you guys have seen that shit before, but you know, some stuff like that will actually happen where they're setting it up and then you guys get baited into some kind of fight you didn't want. So, let's talk about this though. Mechanically speaking, what happened?
She's auto hit me, hard down, flashed away.
Think it's fine? Are we fine?
I think I could have probably stayed a little further back. There wasn't really a reason for me to walk that way because that was Kai'Sa's only escape, was to jump back that way. So
right. So how do we know for kind of next time, I guess?
Before we go in, know, okay, how does this person live and what are they going to try and do?
Yeah, exactly. That's about it, right? What is she gonna do? So, you know, if you think about it, this is kind of the only thing she can do, right?
Yeah.
So, for support specifically, that's kind of your job, right? As a support, is figure out what the ADC is gonna do and immediately counter it. So you could say something like, if I know my tether range is her flash range, then all I have to do is flash right on top of wherever she ultis to, and then she's doomed, right? Something like that. But honestly, in like the grand scheme of things, it's definitely something to look at, but you know, in this specific instance, it's not that big of a deal, right? You just make sure you know what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. You got mid tower. I don't think you want a base here, no? Good. How did I know you didn't want a base?
Because I didn't have enough to really buy anything.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you base here, it's also kind of strange. Why is that?
The wave was just arriving. I don't know if I based there. Oh.
Is there anything productive you could be doing
Instead of basing, or if I did base?
Right. Oh. Instead of basing. I mean, you're an ADC. You're playing Saber. Yeah. What do you want to do?
Push the wave.
Right. We want to push top, right? Do we have any reasons to not push top? What do you think?
It's already pushing.
That's true, but did you know that if you're winning, this is gonna push towards them?
Yeah.
So you're gonna be losing minions eventually, right? But do we have any like reasons to not push, to not go top? Like, do we have any good reasons to base immediately?
Probably not.
I mean, you can't come up with anything?
I mean, they're all missing, but...
you should be safe going top, I think.
I guess just to get the farm out.
What do you think? What does your support think?
Support backed.
I don't really know.
Well, what are you thinking here as a support?
Because I didn't have wards, so I wouldn't have been able to ward anything.
I mean, you're definitely basing, right? No matter what.
I mean, I know we got nothing around the Baron pit, but I don't think they would try and go for it.
I would agree.
Sedge being a little bit.
Sure. They have Earth Dragon, but we have a pink near it, so we should be okay, right?
Yeah.
So what are you thinking here as a support? Can you guys see the minimap okay?
Yeah, we can see it.
Probably set up for Dragon, I'm
doesn't
guessing.
Have any pressure to...
Right. Dragon, right? Isn't our next objective Dragon?
Yeah, and
so what's
we backed and walked there, I think.
Right, we can back and walk there. And then, you know, early can go top. But let's say how much money is this up here?
Probably what, 2 or 3 waves.
Yeah, that's like a lot of money, right? So
Yeah.
you know, there's actually, you know, can you go top here and still be in time for dragon? What do you think?
1 sec.
Probably not.
It's impossible, you think?
I mean, it's not impossible, but if they try and start dragon immediately, then I'd be screwed. But if I coordinate with it and, you know, they hold off until I'm back, then it's possible.
Right. So it's just keep your options open, right? So I think, you know, either is good. You can base now, go to dragon, right? That's like the common setup. Or if you're greedy or you're behind, you can do this. And if the enemy team starts dragon, that's not necessarily good for them, right? Because, you know, your team is right there. Even if it's 4v5, they're just gonna they're in the pit. So but here's the thing is that, let's say no one goes top. Your Aurelia didn't go top, you didn't go top. What's happening to the top farm? Which is happening.
Top's just pushing towards us.
It's just it's dying to your minions, right? So what happens if you know, you do get this dragon, but the ADC is getting ahead? You see this?
Yeah.
What's happening here?
Down in CS at this point.
You need
the winning lane.
Right, you need to kind of, you know, make sure that you're not falling behind somehow, right? And if there is an objective to be had, who's the least important person there in the mid game?
Probably me.
It's probably ADC, right? So
yeah.
ADC. So it's just you know, this is actually how you start having problems in terms of scaling. Is no one addresses the top wave, so you're gonna have a big problem eventually, right? Just something to think about, all right? As an ADC, you kind of want to be greedy, right, for income. Oh my God, free Baron though. You just finish it; they can't steal it, right?
Yeah.
So you're sure? I mean, this guy can just run it down. I don't know what he's doing, but he's just dead. Oh, don't flash for that. Oh, monkey ass. Like, why should we not flash for this? What do you think?
Let's see, who was? I think who flashed him? Anivia was on that side, no? Or no, she came from mid.
She's like TPing in or some shit. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
Actually, like, into TP into the Baron pit. You see this?
Yeah, I think that's her TP in there.
Like, what are we trying to do here?
What am I trying to do?
As a team.
Oh, probably just secure the Baron.
Right. So, what is your role in this?
DPS.
Right, hit the Baron, or you know, if we're turning, we hit the closest guy, and then what if they're trying to escape?
If the enemy tries to escape from
like this Poppy.
Probably just walk back to Baron, or have someone else clean it up.
Yeah, your goal doesn't really change, right? Because this is actually how some disasters can happen, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this before? And then everyone in the pit dies somehow while you're off doing something. I've seen this before, right? So it's kind of keeping in mind what you're trying to do at any given moment. Don't worry about, like, I think you worry less about like the mechanical stuff and like we gotta kill this guy's stuff, and more of what are you guys trying to do as a team, right? And how can I be a part of that, right? So if you think this, let's say this is the jungler, and you're like, I need to stop him from stealing. You absolutely flash for him, right? But this is like a Poppy who has no HP, and your flash is still needed to win the fight, right? So
she's 1 in 6. I don't think she's gonna be doing much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you know, is what you're doing makes sense in regards to what you're trying to do, right? So that's also a big thing I want you guys to think about as you're playing as a duo. In lane and out of lane, right? Remember the whole, what are we trying to do after we clear mid for Syndra? Oh, we should help set up Rift Herald. Do whatever you think is good for that, right?
Yeah.
And don't deviate unless you have some kind of insane reason to. So let's keep going. This is just you just run it down mid. You don't have to do anything crazy here. Run it down mid. Sure. Poppy ulti, sure. I mean, this is just going swimmingly.
Yeah, we didn't really have to do too much this game.
Yeah. I mean, you guys out of lane, you guys had some nice ideas, right? With the Rift Herald setup, which, you know, you guys got Rift Herald because of it. It's not like you guys did poorly. It's just there are things you can. There's always something you can do better, right?
Yeah.
So I think we talked a lot about lane. I think we talked some stuff about out of lane. If there are some common themes we saw in this game, what do you think? What do you think they are?
Communication.
Okay. So what specifically?
In regards to what we both plan on doing, and
Yeah.
making sure that the other person's ready to follow up.
Yeah. Support leads, usually speaking. Okay. ADC can also look too. You can say, I'm looking to boomerang her on this minion or whatever, right? I think we should try and pressure her on this minion or whatever, right? So you guys just need to communicate what you're trying to do now, right? And let's say you guys are trying to make some kind of play or trade. What are some habits you want to be working on? Just like in general. Like, what are some habits you want to work on after today, I guess, in solo queue or duo queue?
Dylan said he's getting some bad ping. I'm sorry, my dog is going nuts.
No worries. We can start with you, Will. Do you want to restart the call? Actually, see if it helps.
Yeah, sure. One sec.
Okay. Is this better? How's the ping doing?
I don't know what's going on.
Is it still doomed?
Alright.
I can
Are we good now?
hear you. It just goes like in and out.
Okay. Well, I was just asking, what kind of habits do you think
It's pretty bad.
you need to work on? Let's start with you. Is it Will?
Yeah.
What do you think? What are some habits you think you want to work on?
I think following up, because a lot of the time we weren't on the same page where I was walking back, he was walking forward.
Right.
Probably knowing when to use abilities versus not.
Right. So what kind of habit can you do to make sure that goes well in lane? Like every game, you do this, and when do you do this?
Just understanding the lane matchup and stuff like that, and what my support's ability to play make is, and where the opportunities are.
Right. So maybe every time in load screen, you could say something like, "My important ability is this, and I can combo it with this ability with my support." Right?
Mm-hmm.
You say something like that. What else? Besides following up, what do you think?
Farming, looking for ways to get income, get gold.
Yeah, maximize your income as an ADC, right? You always need to maximize your income. So we didn't really see too much of that in the mid game, but if there was a main reason why you're down a lot of CS, why do you think it was? Besides that, like top wave that was big.
I think I was just walking around a lot.
Would you lose most of the CS? What do you think?
Dying bot lane.
Yeah. Someone died bot lane, so we lost a bunch of minions. Okay, so that's like definitely something you want to fix, right? And I guess the last habit you could definitely take a look at is every time you guys are trying to do something, both of you need to double check the jungle or roams or TPs or whatever. But it's usually jungle, right? Double check the jungle, and then you can go ahead with whatever you want to do, right?
Cool.
What about you, Dylan? Can you hear okay?
I
don't know if you
can.
I don't know.
Iffy.
What habits do you think you want to work on?
Warding appropriately, or at least at the right time.
Right. So like, we always default
and then
to
being conscious of, for lane, AD's cooldowns and.
Right. If we're trying to set up something, is my ADC ready for this? Right.
Yeah.
Like I've seen times where I don't have a specific ability, and then my support ultis or some shit. I'm like, wait a minute, something's wrong here, right?
Yeah, I think both of us are pretty quiet people to begin with, so definitely talking is probably going to be the biggest thing for us to work on.
And remember, if there's ever like arguments or whatever, keep it to like the most important idea. So like, let's say for example, we're trying to figure out how to, you know, do this trade. Remember to keep it to like the big stuff. Like, oh, we don't need to land everything. We need to make sure we land the big stuff, like the boomerang, right? Or the karma RQ or whatever, right? The more basic it is, the more important it is, probably, right? The game isn't that so complex that you need to delve too deep into the mechanical nature. Usually speaking, I would say. So, anything else? That's pretty much it, right? Oh yeah, and the whole, you're trying to do something, make sure you know, is this okay if the enemy jungle shows up, right? But seems like this game was mostly lane focused, right? What do you guys think?
I think that's where a lot of our attention needs to be right now. I mean, when we played our games today, we won, I think, almost all of them. I think we lost one of them, but I don't know. We got fortunate teams most of the time, so I think we need to do our part and be able to win our lane and gain that advantage. So
right, you want to get to the point where it's like you win lane and then you beat everyone who shows up into your lane, and then you just rotate that everywhere, right? That's kind of where you guys want to. That's the ultimate goal, I guess, as a bot lane duo. So definitely keep the laning phase clean, and then I guess if there's auto laning stuff, it's like, you know, ask yourselves, what are we supposed to do next? Usually it's, you know, around the objective, right? So that's pretty much most of what I saw. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I think that game we weren't really able to create a huge advantage bot lane because we died a bunch of stupid times and stuff like that. But for games where we do get a sizable lead and stuff, I guess my question is, where should we put our attention to further that advantage?
Right, so parts of it is, you know, how can we keep our lead, right? So not missing some farm in the mid game. Parts of it is, you know, what are our lane assignments look like? What lane are you supposed to be in, right? So if you're like sharing mid lane with Syndra, it's like it kind of doesn't make sense, right? And then you know, the easiest cookie cutter strat is, what do you think in the mid game? If you're like maximizing your farm, what's the next thing you do?
Jungle.
Well, what is it for the team, right? You guys are trying to win for the team, right? So what's your focus? Remember, happening in this game. So
make sure that your waves are pushing.
Well, what do you do after you push your waves?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what
do you on what?
Objectives.
Yeah, on objectives or whatever you're trying to do next. Usually it is objectives, right? So sometimes you can do some interesting planning. Like, well, in my collegiate team, we used to do something like we invade red at the second, we invade blue buff on the second blue buff or some shit. Or we would do something like we're making a play bot on their second blue buff because we know they're going to do blue buff, right? So it doesn't always have to be objective, but if you are lost in terms of what to do, you know, default to Rift Herald, Dragon, whatever, right? So, make sense? Hello?
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Any last questions or comments or concerns?
I'm good. What about you, Dylan?
I'm fine, honestly.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem.
I think we know what to work on.
Good. Then yeah, definitely make sure that you're implementing these habits, and I think you'll have some really good results, right? Very much jungle focused. Like, you know, bot lane, if you get ruined by the jungle, it's a BG, right? So definitely look towards that. I actually am surprised this Kha'Zix just like entered his lead away. I don't know how that happened, but that was insane. He got like 4 kills, right? So,
yeah, I think he was 4-1 at some point, but
I guess top lane top difference or something.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. Let me know if you guys do have any other questions. Definitely hit me up on Discord, or if you have like clips you want to show me of like laning, you guys trying to make a play or trying to trade on this guy. Definitely show me those. Otherwise, I'll upload this to YouTube and send you guys the link so you can go back and rewatch. Sounds good?
Sounds good. Thank you, Saber.
Alrighty. Good luck in your games, alright? Let me know how they're going.
Alright, thanks, man.
Alright, see ya.
See ya.
See ya.